Hey everyone, it's Anthony Allen Ramos. Okay, I'm so excited. Quantum Leap every week is bringing us great entertainment, but listen, the brand new episode is written and directed by a good friend of GLAAD, Shakina, who is so talented. And spoiler alert, we're also going to see Shakina in the episode. And I'm so excited to get to chat with you right now. How are you, Shakina?
I'm great. I am so excited for this coming episode, and I'm so happy to chat with you about it.
Well, so excited, so many things, because listen, we'll talk about the episode, but Quantum Leap is on NBC. It's prime time. It is a network television, the opportunity to reach an audience, to talk about important things, like I said, through entertainment, I think is so important. And this episode that you wrote and directed really takes on an important topic when it comes to trans youth in sports specifically. So tell me a little bit about what we can expect, and then also just, how cool it is to get to write and direct an episode of Quantum Leap.
Yeah, the coolest. But so what you can expect. So, Quantum Leap, for those who haven't been watching, is a show where every week our lead character, played by Raymond Lee, hops back in time to another person's life and has to help them solve an issue going on in their life in order to move on to his next task, his next leap. And in this particular episode, he leaps into the parent of a trans kid who also happens to be on the basketball team, the girls' basketball team that he coaches. And so it's a father-daughter story, it's a teen sports movie, it's a family drama, all wrapped up into, one hopeful, inspirational episode about letting kids be kids.
And I think that's really what it's all about, because I think about, I mentioned the potential for impact and reaching an audience, because I think, there are so many people that probably don't fully understand what's happening when it comes to trans youth and trans rights so much, and we'll get into that more. But what do you hope then that someone who loves Quantum Leap, that loves to watch shows on NBC, loves to, snuggle up on their couch at 10 o'clock and, just be entertained. But then to see a storyline like this that tackles an important issue that's affecting, our LGBTQ community, specifically for trans kids, what do you hope that they take away from that?
Well, I think sometimes we forget that our entertainment is connected to our life in the world.
Yes.
And even if at 10 o'clock at night you want to cuddle up on the couch with a blanket and watch this great episode and laugh and cry, it can open you up to things going on around you and encourage you to take action to help make the world a better place. And I think when people understand what trans kids today are going through, they might have a little more compassion and empathy for not only trans kids, but also their parents and families and teachers and doctors. And they might have the courage to hop on the phone or send an email to a congressperson or a state legislator and demand that trans kids get protection, not discrimination. So that's what I hope. I hope it encourages people to action.
And what a time to put this episode into the world. I mean, we know, unfortunately, Donald Trump is committing himself to running again and has said that he will, do what he can to, unfortunately, really limit rights when it comes to trans people, specifically trans kids. I mean, what's your reaction to all that? I mean, it's a terrible time, but like I said, you can make change with pieces of media like this.
Well, here's the thing. Donald Trump is a boogeyman, and the Republican Party has made trans kids a boogeyman. And the truth is that there's no such thing as the boogeyman. There's what you do with what you know. And if more people know that trans kids are kids and deserve the right to be kids and play as kids, then I hope that we can sort of get out of this us and them, us versus them mindset and start thinking about our children. And that might change the way we relate to the issue. And I think that the best way to do that, and why a show like this is so important in this, is that you can talk all you want about political theory and rights and whatever, but when you just feel what someone's going through, you have a different understanding. And that's what TV does so well, and that's what Quantum Leap does so well. And that's what the original was known for, and that's what we're doing week to week, like you said. And so this is a really radical opportunity, but at the same time, it continues the legacy of Quantum Leap, because it was like in the 90s when they were doing a Don't Ask, Don't Tell episode, you know? So this has always been something that this particular show cares about, which is bringing people who are often on the margins into the center, so we learn to see them as beautiful humans.
So well said, because listen, that's what it's all about. That's why what we're doing at GLAAD is so important, because we know that what people see on TV, what they see in film, the games they play now even, really it's so instrumental in shaping people's perception and, you know, they're just levels of acceptance. So listen, I hope that this episode opens up, you know, a big world of people, and, you know, everyone just realizes that, you know what, being trans is just like anything else. I mean, we need to just let people be who they are. And it's like, I'm so excited for, you know, I imagine, like, I always say, like, the grandma in, you know, South Dakota to maybe like stumble upon this episode.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I hope that anyone who is the parent of a trans kid or a trans kid themselves gets the chance to watch this episode, so they see their story on TV and don't feel as alone. And I hope that anyone who, like you're saying, has conflicted feelings about trans youth can see this and open up their heart. And if we do that, we've done a lot.
That's right. And let me tell you, I'm one of the lucky ones. I've seen the episode. Let me tell you, the scream I let out when I saw my girl Trace Lissette, I was like, yes, I love. And also D-Lo, a part of it too. How cool was it for you to, you know, like I said, direct it, write it, but then also have great trans representation when it came to actors, you know, playing in these roles?
Well, Anthony, I roll with a squad, you know? I roll with a squad and I roll deep. And so I'm here for the rising tides, and I knew from the moment we were breaking the episode that there was a role in it for Trace, and D-Lo and I are working on our own, you know, film, Rowan Sherelle, so we wanted to do something fun together there. And I just, you know, I wanna be a star, but I wanna like be a star in the constellation of all my friends, you know what I mean? So every opportunity I get, I'm always trying to figure out how to bring the community with me, and I hope that when my friends get those opportunities too, they'll do the same for me. You know, that's how we make it happen. And you know, change doesn't happen in a vacuum. And so the opportunity to uplift Trace's work, she's so glorious in the episode, to introduce Josie Lynn to the world, to give D-Lo a fun cameo, and also the other trans kids that you get to meet in the episode. It was really special.
And we get to meet a character named Dottie also.
Dottie!
Yes. Played by yourself, which is so great. Not too many spoilers, but how cool was it for you to, like I said, be a part of this behind the camera, you know?
Yeah.
And then also get, you know, be in front of it too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like every multi-hyphenate's dream, right? To be able to like do a little bit of everything on the same project, to get to see it from all the angles. So getting to write it was just amazing, because I'm telling my story, I'm telling the story of my community, and then getting to direct it was really a surprise, because I got brought in at the last moment and ended up co-directing with Morenika Jolea Evans, and that was just the most thrilling, like, okay, everything in your life has prepared you for this moment, now go kind of thing. And then acting in it was just the best, because I just got to be silly. Also, like, do a scene with Ernie effing Hudson, you know what I mean?
I know, so good.
I was just like gagging the whole time, you know, and I'm like never too proud to fangirl. So, you know, for me, it was really wild to just be all over it. And I think that, you know, we need a little bit of comic relief in some of these hard-hitting episodes. And so I was happy to kind of bring my je ne sais quoi to that.
And the cool thing about this show, because, you know, like you said, Quantum Leap is, you know, time travel, going back and, you know, kind of setting the path for situations. And what I love also that you did so well is you know, were able to weave in a little bit of trans history, and especially when it comes to the trans military band that was, you know, from the past. You know, like, how intentional was that for you? Because again, I think there's an opportunity that some people that may not even know what that meant, but then a really great explainer about it that's done in a way that's very much a part of the story.
Well, I have to give a shout out to Caitlin Bassett, who plays Addison, because we shot that scene on my first day directing, which was also Veterans Day. And Caitlin is a veteran. And so we were having this moment on set where she was delivering this monologue, and in between takes she said, you know, I really feel like it's actually about how you can only help the people like within your command. And I was like, well, you want to just say that? And so we let the cameras roll, and she took the monologue and then just kind of went. And it was so breathtaking. Everyone on set was just still. You could hear a pin drop. And there she was, this incredible actor who's also a vet on Veterans Day, literally processing in front of the camera her own feelings around not being enough of an ally. And that is like, that kind of confession is what every person who is not enough of an ally is afraid to admit. And if we can watch it on TV, we can do it in our lives. We can say, wow, I really didn't show up enough then. How can I show up now? And that's what we need people to do.
That's, it's so well done, and I can't wait for people to see that. Thinking about your career, obviously being kind of having a return to the NBC Universal fam. How cool was that? Because, I love that we're finally getting to a place, like I said, where network TV is including storylines like this that are specific, that are so important. And then they bring on someone like you to tell them.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy about it. I mean, NBC gave me my first break with Difficult People through Hulu, and Lola will forever be my spirit animal, and then Connecting was so radical, transformative for me and the world. And not only because we made TV in a pandemic, but because there was a trans person as a series regular on a network sitcom, which had never happened. But I love network TV. I love what it stands for. I grew up with it. I love the accessibility of it. I love the family nature of it, even at 10 p.m. I love that it's like widely received in middle America, where trans people and queer people are still like struggling for acceptance. So it seems like a great medium for like this particular bridge that we're trying to build. And like I said, I remember being a little kid and watching Quantum Leap with my parents. It was like one of those shows that you would watch as a family, and to now be contributing to that legacy is just a huge honor.
It's so great. I know, I remember that too. It's so iconic. And I love that the show really, even before this episode, has been committed to talking about gender, being inclusive, thinking with Mason and everything that's happening. It's so great. What do you hope that, how do you want to see the rest of the season unfold,
Well, I already know how it unfolds, but I will say, this intentionality of Quantum Leap is very specific and so important, because we constantly want to be reminding people that otherness is kind of an illusion, that we can always see the commonality in each other. And our writer's room is so diverse and eclectic and committed to this kind of representation. So I think fans of the show will see a lot more of that if they stay tuned with us.
Well, listen, we are here for it. Shakina, I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much for the time. And just a reminder, everyone, you can catch Quantum Leap Monday nights at 10 o'clock on NBC. This episode is so beautiful. It's so important. And listen, you will still enjoy it. You'll have fun. You'll be in fantasy land, which I love. It's an escape, but it has an important undertone. And we're so happy, Shakina, that you got to tell the story. So thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. Thank you.